All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping right into this incredible opening scene from an ancient text, and it describes what might just be the biggest, most diverse meeting ever held. Anywhere.
Really think about that for a second. What would that even look like? We're talking about a get-together so huge, it's not just people, it's everyone. Beings from every possible corner of the cosmos. We're talking gods, spirits, even demons, you name it. And they're all showing up in one spot for one single reason: to listen.
Okay, so let's set the scene here. You'd think a meeting of this magnitude would be in some grand celestial palace, right? Some kind of otherworldly hall. But no, our story actually starts in a pretty quiet, down-to-earth spot, a place called the Kapila Forest. So, right at the very center of all this, you've got the Buddha, and he's with his inner circle, his core group, 5,500 of his most perfected disciples. These are the arahants, the real heavy hitters who've already achieved nirvana. They've made it. Yeah, and we're not just talking about regular students here. The text makes this super clear. It says their spiritual impurities were totally gone, their burdens all laid down. You know that phrase, what needed to be done was done? That's them. They'd reached a state of complete and total spiritual freedom. But, this quiet little get-together of the enlightened, it wasn't going to stay quiet for long. It was about to get way, way bigger. Because that's when the highest celestial beings started to show up. We're talking about the gods from the most supreme heavenly realms. And again, these are not just any old gods. These are the big bosses, the rulers of the highest heavens. And get this, they didn't just pop in to see what was going on. Nope, they came to offer praise. Each one of them came forward with their own poetic verse, basically singing the praises of the Buddha. So the first king steps up and pretty much lays out the purpose of this whole gathering. He's basically saying, hey, everybody, listen up. Something huge is about to happen. A teaching so profound is about to be given that everyone, and I mean everyone, from the highest gods to the regular humans, is coming here to listen. Then, the second king comes forward, and his focus is on the Buddha's incredible discipline. He's making it clear this wasn't some kind of overnight success story. He's talking about the unimaginable amount of time, like countless eons, that the Buddha spent cultivating the focus and the purity it took to get to this state. Just mind-boggling. All right, next up is the third king. He talks about the quality of the Buddha's inner virtues, and he uses this amazing comparison. He says they're like Indra's Vajra, this mythical, indestructible diamond weapon. The point is, they aren't just strong, they're fundamentally unbreakable, completely pure. And finally, the fourth king wraps it up with this incredibly powerful message of hope and reassurance. It's a direct promise, really, to anyone who's listening. He's saying, look, if you follow this path, you won't just be safe from suffering. You're going to find a higher, better state of being. It's a huge promise. Okay, so once the highest gods have paid their respects, the floodgates really open. That's when this seemingly endless parade of powerful, mythical, and sometimes, frankly, terrifying beings starts to show up from every single corner of existence. First up, you get this wave of 7,000 powerful yakṣas. Now, these are these fierce nature spirits, almost like guardians of the earth's hidden treasures. And poof, they just descend on the forest. And it didn't stop there. They just kept coming, thousands more pouring in from all these different mountains and regions until, and the text points this out specifically, over 100,000 of them had gathered from just one single city, Rajagaha. The sheer scale of this is it's staggering. And what's so wild about this is the variety. The guest list is like a cosmic who's who. You've got your heavenly kings, you've got fierce, poisonous dragons, mythical golden-winged birds, powerful demigods, even the gods of the sun, the moon, and the stars. It wasn't just one group. It was literally a cross-section of the entire universe. And then, even the asuras showed up. Now, if you know anything about this cosmology, that's a huge deal. These guys are famous for their jealousy, their power, and their constant, endless war with the gods. But for this, they put all that aside. They buried the hatchet just for this moment, and they came to listen. So you've got this incredible, universe-spanning meeting happening. It's at its absolute peak. And then, suddenly, bam! The entire sacred, peaceful vibe is just shattered. A violent and very much uninvited guest crashes the party. This entity,
The text calls him the Great Black God, just appears out of nowhere and unleashes absolute chaos. He slams his hand on the earth, lets out this terrifying roar, and conjures up a massive storm. We're talking wind, lightning, hail, the whole nine yards. The whole assembly is just trembling with fear.
So what do? You're faced with this violent disruption, this cosmic chaos that's threatening to tear your big meeting apart. How does the Buddha respond? Does he call in an army? Does he fight fire with fire and show off some even greater power?
Nope, he didn't fight back. He didn't try to conjure a bigger storm. He just spoke. He said 2 characters. That's it. Those 2 words are pronounced wen fa. And all they mean is listen to the Dharma. Listen to the teaching. It wasn't an attack. It wasn't some kind of counterspell. It was just a simple, direct, peaceful invitation, asking him to do the exact same thing everyone else had shown up to do. And this is just a brilliant way to illustrate the core idea here, because in that single instant, all the demon's rage, all his malice, it just vanished. It evaporated. The storm disappeared, his anger was just gone, and he quietly, peacefully, took his place in the very same meeting he had just tried to destroy. So that brings us to the big question, right? What's the point of all this? Why kick off the story with this epic, almost unbelievable scene of this massive gathering? What's it really telling us? Well, what this incredible assembly shows us is that this teaching, it wasn't some private lecture for a spiritual VIP club, you know? It wasn't just for the already perfected arahants. No, this was a universal message. The invitation was open to absolutely everyone. From the highest, most pure God you can imagine, all the way down to the scariest dragons, and even the most hostile, destructive forces in the entire cosmos. And really, that's the ultimate takeaway here. The whole story of this great assembly, it's just the prologue. It's the warm-up act. It's all designed to set the stage, to make you understand the immense importance of what comes next. A teaching so vital, so powerful, that the entire universe, friend and foe, God and demon, all of them literally paused what they were doing just to hear it.